Hello and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. Today, we're talking about imagination and productivity. What is the connection between imagination and productivity? So, thanks for being here. If you are new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a very interesting and innovative narrative approach, which is to say that listen, everyone's life has told a story to this point, and everyone's life is currently telling a story. And ultimately, everyone's life will tell a story when it's all said, done, and written. And so we help people think that particular process and let them and help them assist them as they determine what is the story they want to tell by looking at the story they're currently telling with their life and the one they have been telling. So again, go to productivethroughjoy.com or simply become a subscriber here. Get all these videos for free. I did say free. 1, 2, 3, 4, free. And holla at us and holla at me. Thanks for being here. Again, for those of you who are new to the show, allow me to say a few words about myself. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called My People. And I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, which just came out on iconic Third World Press in October. That book interrogates the intersection of really race, violence, and family in the American family. Really, really powerful book. Again, set 13 miles from Ferguson, of course, Ferguson, where Michael Brown was murdered. And God bless his family, his spirit, rest in power. I'm also the author of the spanking brand new Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a theory of American literatures, which just came out April the 10th. Just came out last month, about a month ago. That book discusses the intersection of activism and literature. Really powerful book. It also creates a new technology for how to adjudicate, how to judge, how to evaluate literature vis-a-vis other great works, using justice as a defining principle and a prism. So, whoa, look for me. I'm out there. I'm busy. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, great 501c3 nonprofit. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, master's UCLA, and PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. Listen, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast, but people are often surprised to hear of my story because my story is so crazy, and typically folk from my types of background are not this productive. I am the product of a young girl who was violated in a terrible way at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to an amazing single divorcee, yet at the time no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet, as Cool Modi famously said back in the day, how you like me now? And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we are knowing that many people can be similarly productive. And that's why we have this business, why we have this show, and why I personally am inspired to do this work. As you can tell, I'm up at 4:45 in the morning, earlier, getting ready for the show each day, each weekday. So thanks for being here. Today we're talking about imagination, guys, and productivity. Let's dive into the topic. Point one is that you want to know that encased in your brain is an untapped resource, and that resource is imagination. Listen, it takes great heart, in my experience, to have success, no doubt. But at the foundation is your mind, your imagination. Literally, if you were to close your eyes and open your eyes right now, everything around you in your house, including my house, my office here. I'm looking at my office, my books, my guitar, couch in the office here, my record player, my various things in the office here, all began in someone's imagination. Everything, everything around us began as someone's thought. So the potential for you, for me, for everyone begins with your thought. That may not seem so obvious, but maybe it is for some of us. But so you want to be able to cultivate, guys, your imagination, which is point one. The cultivation of imagination is critical. I'm a professor. I'm an educator, so I am alarmed when we have like we have had for almost 2 decades now in California, although not right now, a series of financial shortfalls. Although we have a surplus now in our budget. Um, And when there's been a shortfall historically, going way back to Prop 13, back in '79, the budget deciders cut the arts because they felt other arts are non-essential items. And I was always like, that's so stupid. And now that I'm in business, and also as a professor, you know that in business, the key to being an effective entrepreneur is problem solving. This is an important sidebar, and probably, and also as a parent, the key to being a great parent is problem solving. The key to being a great partner to someone, a husband, spouse, lover, homie, lover, friend, is being a great problem solver, because problems are going to come for sure. That's just life. Life can be called problem because life is about managing problems, and oftentimes, right? Which isn't bad, because it helps you when you manage and solve problems. It feels great, but also it makes you smarter. It works your brain muscle. Anyway, so it takes imagination to be a great problem solver. So, as another additional sidebar, so we send people to careers. They leave our schools and we go into careers, and we hear back all the time from employers that too often the students that they receive, although our students have been good at this, but are not translating their academic learning to the professional workplace. What employers want, if you're a young person watching this show, if you're a college day student, is someone who can think on their feet, who can solve problems, because business is all about problem solving. It just is. I mean, at times things are smooth, not very often. Not, I mean, that's not the typical way that most things happen in business. It's just not. So the point is that when you have a great imagination, that goes a long way in helping you to become an imaginative problem solver, which is pretty obvious to me, but apparently not for folks who decide the budgets in California. Point two is that once you become an imaginative problem solver, you want that to be your lifestyle and actually enjoy it. I know when I encounter a problem, which I've had a lot lately, that's just the nature of business, the nature of life at times. You have these periods, you may be able to relate to this, that when it rains, it pours, for good and not so good, right? I've had a series of extraordinary challenges, just that's just life. You go through those ebbs and flows. I mean, and to be honest, also at the same time, I've had some ridiculous success. It's been a time of also a great abundance for me. But on the problem tip, man, I'm talking about things that are just I couldn't have even imagined. Crazy it is. And so the thing is, of course, when those things first happen, you say, darn, why me? I'm a good person. Why is it happening to me? Darn. That's natural. But then soon thereafter, have that time. Go through that, feel sorry for yourself, navel gaze, get deep in the lint of your belly button. That's totally fine. Do that for a while. It's okay. 4 hours, a couple of days, it's fine. Be sorry, feel sorry for yourself. I've done that many times, right? But then you have to say, okay, now what? I've dug all the lint from my belly button. I've belly gazed. I've said, "Woe is me." Literally, I've actually said the phrase "Woe is me" has come out of my mouth. I've done it, right? But then you have to ask yourself the question: okay, now what? What am I going to do? And that "now what" question is critical, because you have to make a decision to take action. And so that's when it gets exciting. And so when you start having that "now what," you get to our next point, which is really our last point. Point three is, as you go through the whole "now what" process, what you'll learn, which I've learned, I guess for good and for bad, the last series of now years, I've had a series of incredible things happen. It's been unreal. What you learn is that in the solving of problems, in the facing of extreme challenges I've faced lately, when you begin to bring to the fore untapped resources of problem solving skills, of strength, of integrity, of courage, of self reflection, you bring to bear, you bring to the fore, at times an untapped skill set, or an unevolved skill set that because of necessity you have to evolve. And it does evolve. And then as you get through this period of difficulty, you get back to a more normalized, at least for me, state of rampant abundance. You realize that, wow, going through that difficult time is what actually made me more abundant. It's what made me have this new skill set. It's what made me do all the things that I'm doing now. And so, although it seems weird, but you begin to be thankful and grateful for the difficult times for what they wrought. Boom goes the dynamite. Thanks for being here. That's all for today's show. We air each weekday morning, hella early, 4:45 a.m. right about now, here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thanks. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces. I'm out.